I was going to try playing a fancy fiddle, or even possibly a harp, but then again, I don't even know if this is a good enough Irish accent. Yeah, it's the best I could do. Let's just talk about the fucking movie, okay? It's Drusky McGillicuddy's Darby O'Gill and the Little People movie review.
Hey everybody, it's Drusky McGillicuddy, and today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite Disney movies. And it's one of those Disney movies that goes under everybody's radar. A lot of people haven't seen this movie, and a lot of people haven't heard of this movie. Jason Smith from Sinister Cinema, I believe you said you've never heard of this movie, so that gives me points just, right there. I'm better than you. Anyway, so Darby O'Gill and the Little People from 1959, starring Sean Connery, Janet Monroe. Is that right? Anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, and then there's Albert Sharp plays Darby O'Gill. We're not here to be all professional and tell you all the actors' names and the year that the movie was made. But I did want to bring up the fact that this was made in 1959 because some of the special effects in this movie are breathtaking and they still hold up. Even though I want to say a lot of the scenes is shot in front of a matte painting, it just blends flawlessly. And now there's a couple scenes where you can kind of tell that it's a matte painting, but for the most part, it's done flawlessly. And then it's also filmed with a forced perspective because this is dealing with leprechauns. Like I said, and this is 1959, and there's scenes where Darby is with the leprechauns. And as a child, I'm like, how in the hell? I thought leprechauns were real. Like, this movie made me believe in leprechauns. So let's talk about it. So Darby O'Gill, he's this old guy. He's getting up there in the age, and he's a caretaker at this countryside inn. I don't know what it is, but there's a gatehouse, there's a manor house, there's a garden house, there's this house, there's that other house, and he's this old guy, and he's supposed to take care of the property. He's supposed to keep the weeds down, just your typical upkeep. But like I said, he's getting up there, and his lordship, whatever his lordship name is, he comes to town with Michael, played by Sean Connery, and he's a Dublin man. And he comes up, and Katie runs outside and greets him and says, her father's not in at the moment, and he wants to talk to him about something. And he assumes that he must be down at the pub telling stories. Well, that's exactly where he's at, and that's exactly what he's doing. Anyway, so they go off to the little garden gazebo area, and Katie runs to pretend like he's out there weed eating the fields with his little scythe. So she goes, and sure enough, he's at the pub telling stories about King Brian and all the little people. Telling a story about how he had 3 wishes, and then that son of a bitch tricked him into wishing for a 4th wish. Because you can wish for 3 wishes, big or small, but once you wish for a 4th wish, you lose them all. Anyway, and then there's this asshole Pony Sugru. He doesn't believe any of these stories, so he's going to run his mouth. He's going to be just a plain dickhead, all right? Nobody likes this fucking guy. They don't even want him in the pub. He wants a whiskey. They tell him, no, you're going to come in here running your mouth. You can't have no whiskey. Have a stout. And he said, I ordered a whiskey, and that's what I'm going to have. And he's like, no, you're not. You're going to have a stout. Now shut the fuck up. All right, so then the priest comes in, and he's telling everybody, well, he waits to hear the story that Darby's telling. Then he tells them, never mind, don't worry about it. I'm not going to tell you the whole fucking movie. We're going to cut right ahead to basically Sean Connery's character Michael is coming to take over the duties, but his lordship is going to let Darby stay in like the whatever house. There's a house on the property, and he's going to let him stay in that with Katie, because Katie's grown up in this gatehouse, and it's the only place she's ever known. Well, so yeah, he gives him 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and Sean Connery's going to, get shown the ropes. Darby's going to show him, what, because there's poachers, there's all kinds of stuff that needs to be done around this place. So then, he meets Katie, and you can tell right away that these goddamn dogs ruining my I'm not doing this again. Anyway, so Katie and Michael meet, and you can kind of tell right away that, oh, hey, they're going to fall in love. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be beautiful. And so you get to slowly watch their love blossom over what's supposed to be a 2-week period. I mean, it goes pretty fast. This movie's not as long as it could be because this is a pretty epic movie on such a small scale. It's hard for me to talk about. It's hard for me to explain. But anyway, so it's basically Darby showing him the ropes, but then Darby goes to get this asshole horse, because this horse is a fucking asshole throughout the entire movie. Horse is an asshole. He goes up to the mount. I can't remember the name of the damn thing, even though I've seen this movie 1,000 times. I'm not going to butcher it by trying to think of it, but there's this mountain, and it's where the leprechaun people live. And Darby falls down the well because the horse is an asshole. When he falls down this well, these 2 little leprechauns, you know, they capture him, and then they take him, and he's an honored guest because, you know, him and King Brian, they have a strong, you know, back and forth, you know, busting each other's balls kind of relationship. So he's a guest of honor. And this is one of my favorite scenes because just the music in this scene and like the way it looks, it's so spectacular. Like, I honestly should probably sit down and see if there's any special features on my DVD and watch how they actually filmed this, because you would believe in leprechauns because there they are, you know. It looks so real. And this is 1959. I mean, it's this forced perspective, which is basically the same technique they used in The Lord of the Rings to make the hobbits look so much smaller compared to Gandalf. But they use that here. And then there's just other special effects that you wouldn't think were available back in 1959. It's crazy. But anyway, so he falls down the well. King Brian tells him, oh, well, hey, you know what? Now that you're here, you're never leaving. He's not going to let him go. Well, he tells him something about playing a fiddle. So he gets them all riled up, talking about whiskey, talking about music, talking about hunting. So he starts playing his fiddle, and the faster he plays, the more excited they get. And then they all decide, hey, we're gonna jump on our little tiny horses, and we're gonna go hunting. And he magically opens the side of the mountain, which was one of the coolest effects in the movie, I thought. It still holds up to this day, in my opinion. And they leave, and he makes it out by the hair of his chinny chin chin, because he's trying to steal all these rubies and stuff, but little did he know he had holes in his pocket. See, here I am trying to explain the entire movie. Well, that's not what I'm here for. Anyway, so basically the whole thing, he's trying to capture the damn leprechaun. As a matter of fact, once he escapes, he knows for sure that King Brian's going to come for him. So he's waiting for him out in the barn, and sure enough, he comes magically through the door. But then he tricks him into playing, well, it's not really a drinking game, but he gets him a drink. And that's one of the leprechaun's only weaknesses, getting them drunk, all right? And then getting them singing. They're singing old, just make it up off the top of your head, Irish tunes. They go back and forth with each verse. They do about 80 verses. Next thing you know, it's daytime. Well, King Brian can't use his powers in the daytime. So now he's trapped. So Darby scoops him up, puts him in a game sack. And if you don't know what a game sack is, it's this channel on YouTube that I highly recommend. No, I'm kidding. I do highly recommend Game Sack if you haven't seen it, though. But Game Sack is basically, if you're hunting and you get a rabbit, you put the rabbit in the sack, and that's what he puts him in. He puts him in a sack. So he makes his first wish, and he wants his first wish. I'm not going to tell you. But yeah, there's wishes involved. This movie's so hard to talk about. I love it so much. I don't want to sit here for a half an hour telling you how much I love this movie. I mean, the music in this movie is amazing. Just everything about this movie is absolutely amazing, and there's not enough people that know about it. So I hope this isn't one of those reviews that only gets like 20 views on my channel. I would hope that everybody clicks on this video like, what the fuck is Darby O'Gill and the Little People? Darby O'Gill and the Little People is a magical movie, and it's fun for the whole family. And like I said, the special effects definitely hold up today. And like I said, there are some creepy scenes in this movie once we get towards the end, because that fucking bitch gets. This is why you shouldn't read other people's mail. All right, Pony Subaru's mother gets the letter from his lordship, telling Michael that he's taken over the duties and all this stuff, and she takes it and she gives it to Katie, and Katie reads it. So when he comes home after they have their lovely little date, that's right, they had a little date. One of the. Don't worry about it. Fucking don't worry about it. Anyway, god damn it. Anyway, so he comes back to the gatehouse and she's packing up everything, and he's like, well, what's going on? She's like, oh, I'm leaving because you got the job and you don't want us here. Blah, 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 we're going to go somewhere. Blah, 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 blah. You know how women are when they get pissed. Irrational thinkers, shit like that. So she runs off to the Mount Scary place. And this place is fucking scary. So they take off after her. Well, sure enough, we run into the Banshee. And this Banshee is fucking terrifying. To this day, even just watching it now, I was still kind of like, how the fuck did they do that? That looks like they, got a real Banshee on camera and captured it. It just looks so good. I'm half tempted to get it tattooed eventually. But anyway, there's also... I don't want to tell you what happens, but there's also a scene with the Headless Horseman in the carriage of death. It comes to take Darby away, and just the third act in this movie is lovely. It's a lovely third act. The whole movie is just lovely. I can't recommend it enough. I feel like I'm not doing the movie justice trying to review it. I feel like this is one I might actually have to write a script for and sit down and make sure I hit all my points. But the main thing is, the special effects are amazing. The story itself is excellent. The performances are amazing. Even though I can't understand 30% of the dialogue is amazing. The songs, I'm not really big on people that sing in movies, but when Sean Connery starts singing My Pretty Irish Girl, holy shit, you're gonna love it. Everybody, you'll love it. I swear to God. And Jason, I'm telling you, that Banshee scene might actually scare you. But yeah, being a Disney movie, you know that things may or may not work out for the best. I don't really want to tell you. I probably said too much about this movie, but I also wanted to throw in one more time how beautiful Katie is. Like, she's one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. And, a lot of times back in the 50s, I feel like a lot of the women all look the same. Like your Audrey Hepburns and your whatnots and your hey. They all look similar to me. I don't know why. Maybe because everything was black and white and they all just look the same. I don't know. This movie's in color though. So there's also a black and white version, but I highly recommend watching it in color if you can watch it. I highly recommend going out and seeking this movie out, because this very well could be the best Disney movie you've never seen. As a matter of fact, I know it is. I know it's the best Disney movie you've never seen. So make sure you like the video. Oh, we're gonna give it a 4-leaf clover. Huh? Is that not fucking suitable or what? Yeah, wait a minute. I don't know what side I'm putting it on. Getting a 4-leaf clover though. Isn't that special? Alright, I'm fucking done. I don't know what to do anymore. I can't just like the video and subscribe. That would mean a lot to me. And thanks to my patrons. If you love me, you'll go watch this movie and then let me know in the comment section below how much you loved it. I gotta go. I can't do this anymore.
Oh, she's my dear, my darling one. Her eyes so sparkling, full of fun. No other can match the likes of her.
Oh, he is my dear, my darling one. His eyes so sparkling, full of fun. No other can match the